Let's get right. Make sure the chat visible. Contender regime boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's happening? Y'all see what's going on, man. Hey, Merlot Fridays. I had to go ahead and bring it back for the one time. You know what I'm saying? Now, y'all know normally I be on my Merlot. This that Pinot Noir. You feel what I'm saying? Something slight. Still on the red vibe. You feel me? But hey, man, what's good? As y'all can see the title, Jaron Ennis has now made his way into the 154-pound division. Right? Now, Jaron Ennis has always shown himself to be an incredible talent. Shout out to the brother Jay Harris, too, real in the building. What's good? I told you, bro. Look, slowly but surely, we gonna make our way back. You know what I'm saying? Look, shout out to all the day ones that's been rocking. Make sure y'all hit that like button as you slide through. I appreciate it. You feel what I'm saying? All the day ones that remember the Merlot Friday. Look, you know what I'm saying? Now, we gonna continue to revise and reshape and restructure and make, you know what I'm saying, so we can get back in that groove. But slowly but surely, we getting back. But I think boxing is dope right now. I feel like the real is on top right now. You dig what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. It's still a whole lot of bullshit going on in the sport. Still a whole lot of shit going on in the sport that'll turn hardcore boxing fans like myself and like Jay Harris too real, you know what I'm saying, like the D-Luck, it's turn us off, you know what I'm saying, off the sport a little bit. But as you can see, the real still get rewarded. The real still on top, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the guys that still out there trying to fight the best, trying to prove themselves, you know what I mean, and going out there giving us great performances. But Jaron Ennis, to me, has been one of those guys, even though his first fight at 154, he's fighting Usima Lima. I know that's not a guy that y'all wanted to see him fight, right? I didn't even know who Lima was. And to be honest with you, I did a little crash course, research on him just to kind of see what we getting ourselves into for tomorrow night. I just finished watching the weigh-in. Both fighters look incredibly strong and healthy and hydrated and ready to go. I'm loving the fact that they're doing more of these ceremonial weigh-ins now, as opposed to making the guys do like the whole thing on the initial weigh-in. Whereas, that right there could, show some chinks in a fighter's armor if they not ready for the big stage. If you making them do that initial weigh-in in front of large crowds, and you got all of the intensity of the people surrounding you, and you got to do interviews before and after the weigh-in, different things like that. So that's one aspect where I guess some fans would be like, you know what, I want to keep that in the game, and I think some of that is still gonna be happening. But I also like the fact that guys can go in the morning, go ahead and get the real weigh-in out the way, and then for the ceremonial weigh-in, everybody feeling good, you fresh, you look, you done filled out a little bit, you done had 1 or 2 meals, you done been drinking water, you know what I'm saying? And you kind of see what the fighters, you see closer to what the fighters go look like when they walk in the ring. Now, of course, you still got the rest of today, and then you got the whole tomorrow up until tomorrow night for guys to continue to rehydrate, eat, you know what I'm saying, kind of reacclimate to the weigh-in. You feel what I'm saying? So, I think it's a trade-off. It just depends on what you want to see. But I thought both fighters looked really good. Shout out to the brother Lee Hand Media in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate you for pulling up, man. You know what I'm saying? How long? Shout out to my brother. He said, been a rough week, and my boy finally went live, you know what I'm saying? About to pull up some wine too. Hey, shout out to my brother, man. Hope your weekend is better than your week, dog. You know what I'm saying? We all have weeks like that. Hey, you just got to keep on trucking, keep going, man. Happy to see you here in the building. But I just wanted to talk some boxing with y'all for a second, man, and just kind of get y'all thoughts on Jaron Ennis now having his first fight at 54 tomorrow, right? Now, this is not a guy that we wanted to see him fight. And I feel like there is some criticism that we can give Jaron Ennis because you jump up to 54. You didn't stay at 47 like you said you would to become undisputed. Now we know he's been at that weight for a long time. He's a big guy for that division. We know he wasn't gonna be able to make 47 for a long time. And you gotta give him credit for at least sending an offer to Brian Norman Jr., who openly turned the fight down because they wanted more money. And I think depending on what you looking for, you can say that side was wrong, this side was wrong. But the fact that Jaron Ennis offered the fight and they was gonna get paid more than what they ever made in their career, I'm not putting that on Ennis for not getting that fight made. And I think if he would have got that fight made and there was only one belt left, he'd have probably stayed to try to get that undisputed. You dig what I'm saying? So then you move up to 54 and the first guy you fight is gonna be Usima Lima, right? A guy that's relatively unknown. I would say largely people don't see him as a threat. And look, Jay Harris Too Real just said Lima don't look too bad. Now look, I'm gonna talk about it. I'm glad you said that, brother. I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna talk about that. Because out of his last 6 fights, 5 of the fighters been undefeated, including this Jaron Ennis fight. Out of Lima last 6 fights, 5 of them guys undefeated, including Jaron Boost Ennis. And I seen some film on him. I saw him in the Aaron McKenna fight. He's not a world beater. He's not a great fighter by any stretch of your imagination, but he not. I feel like this could be a fight. This is a good first fight in a new division, is what I'm getting at. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Because we get so used to, especially the elite level guys or the guys that we deem or view as elite, like a Jaron Boost Ennis. Now you could say, well, I think he's elite on film off the eye test, but he ain't really fought nobody. Or you might feel like the Stanionis fight was enough for you to say he earned that elite badge. He showed me what I needed to see for him to be considered elite. Whatever your sentiment is about Jaron Ennis and what he's done so far in his career. But a lot of guys, we get so caught up in the elite level fighters immediately moving up to the new division and fighting a champion. We saw what Devin Haney did versus Regis Prograis. We see what Terrence Crawford just did. We see Floyd used to do that shit all the time. You feel what I'm saying? Lomachenko, you move, Shakur Stevenson, you move up and you immediately go for somebody who got a belt or somebody who is a perceived threat in that division. We see that shit all the time. But we also see guys slowly but surely usher themselves into a division. We seen Canelo Alvarez do that at 168. What Canelo do at 168? Who was the first fighter Canelo fought at 68? Was it Rocky Fielding? Rocky Fieldhand? You feel what I'm saying? He had like a regular belt. He wasn't even no real champion. And everybody knew Canelo was way better than Rocky Fieldhand. But that was Canelo's first fight at 168. We've seen several fighters move up to a division and not go fight the best fighter in the division. Because sometimes, now even though I feel like Jaron Ennis, if he would have had the opportunity, a contract was slid across his desk where it's like, all right, this Virgil Ortiz, or this Tim Tszyu, or this Sebastian Fundora. You know what I'm saying? Or even a Keith Thurman, even though Keith Thurman never fought at 54 before. But if they was like, all right, we're going to make y'all both have y'all debut fights at 54 versus each other, I think Ennis would have took any of those fights. Bakram Murtalier, what's his name in? Bakram Murtalizev. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Russian dude. If it was him, I feel like if those were legit fights that got slid across Jaron Boost Ennis' desk, I don't feel like he would have turned them down. I don't feel like he would have turned them down. I just don't think Boots had a legitimate opportunity to fight the guys that we would have wanted to see him fight at 54 in his first fight. Jermell Charlo. I would have loved to seen Jaron Boost Ennis go up for his first fight at 54 and fight a Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you have to get your feet wet. You feel me? Sometimes you just gotta, see how you feel at the weight, because you are fighting a natural 154-pound fighter in Lima. Like Jay Harris Too Real just said, the brother looks strong. I just saw the weigh in. Both fighters look strong, look well hydrated. Again, Lima is a guy who fought his last 6 fights, including this fight. 5 of the fighters have been undefeated. So he's not new to fighting guys who haven't lost yet. You know what I'm saying? And he got that chip on his shoulder, and he's won those fights. He's won those fights. He's currently on a win streak. So this is not his first time being in this type of position. So I think this could be a sneaky, awkward test for Jaron Ennis. Am I expecting Ennis to be successful? Dare I say dominant? Dare I say get a stoppage? Yes. That's just how I perceive Jaron Ennis. That's just based off of the film that I've seen on Jaron Ennis. That's just based off of the eye test and the things that I've seen him do in the ring. The talent, the ability, the skill level, the IQ, the work ethic. We see him in the gym all the time. You expect a guy like that to be successful in your first fight in a new division, fighting a guy like Lima. You expect that. Said, did you see what Greg Hackett said? He said he thinks Lima will... Hold on, what? Greg Hackett said he think Lima gonna knock Boots down? I ain't see that. But that's interesting. And that's coming from somebody out of Boots' gym. Somebody who I value their boxing opinion in Greg Hackett. Shout out to the brother Greg Hackett. Very astute boxing mind and fan of the sport. Shout out to the brother Leano 510. Said Mel is Boots' biggest threat at 154. Why would he fight the undisputed king at 154? Exactly. Your first fight? You feel me? That could be a huge fight in the next 2 or 3 fights for Boots, depending on how long he stay at 54. But Jay Harris, I didn't see that. I didn't see that Greg Hackett. That's crazy. Very interesting. And I don't know if, because it could be, motherfucker can be trying to make Boots' opponent seem like he more than what he is, so Boots can get more credit. It could be a little bit of that in there, but I ain't putting it. I'm just playing devil's advocate, because Greg Hackett, I believe he gonna give you his true and honest thoughts on what he's seeing in a fighter. So the fact that he's saying that is very interesting. That's gonna make me pay attention to this shit even more. I do believe that Lima could be like a sneaky, awkward test for Jaron. I don't know if he gonna knock him down. I don't know if that's gonna happen. But the fact that G Hackett said that, man, that's intriguing. That's intriguing. But I expect Jaron Ennis to go out there and be patient. I'm hoping that he go out there and be patient. I think if he go out there and do some of the things that I've criticized Ennis for doing in past fights, like the Chris Van Heerden fight, or even spots in the first Karen fight. Like if he go out there and he rush his offense and he be overzealous and thirsty for the knockout, yes, I could see something like that happening, because you add a heavier weight, you fighting guys your height and your size now. You dig what I'm saying? These guys are used to being hit by, bigger guys, right? And they pack a little bit more of a punch than your average 147-pound fighter. So if Boots get reckless, because you gotta think, the more you move up in weight, the smaller your margin for error is. Because every punch matters now. You know what I'm saying? Especially once you start getting in those weights where guys either your size or bigger than you, every punch matters. So if Boots going there rushing his offense, being careless on defense, and not really letting shit come to him, yes, I could absolutely see something like that happening. But I have to go off of the recent trends that, thinking about Ennis sparring with Canelo, getting that, adding that to his pedigree. Also, his last performance versus Imanta Stanionis, who I've always been a big fan of Imanta Stanionis. I felt like that was a really good performance from Boots Ennis. A lot of people not giving Ennis credit for that performance because of how dominant he was. He made Stanionis an undefeated fighter who was very tough, but he had some layoffs and some injuries and stuff like that. But Stanionis, a very good fighter, Boots made him look like he wasn't nothing. So a lot of people don't really give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? But going off of the recent trend, I have no reason to believe that Boots won't go in patient, behind the jab, picking his shots, allowing the offense to come to him. Because when I criticized him about doing that 5-6 fights ago, what he did was come back the next fight and show me them improvements. He did that. He did that. Said go to AM Sports Media and listen to what he said. He specifically said he not saying it. Oh, okay. That's real. I respect that. Said after seeing what Bud did, opened my eyes to a lot of fighters. Said open my eyes too. A lot of fighters are fighting much smaller than where they can actually fight. Boots might be a natural 160. Absolutely, bro. I think, bro, just going off of frame, and I think a lot of it has to do with how well your skills travel between weight divisions as well. You feel what I'm saying? Because Boots obviously have a great skill set, great talent. And then it's also the IQ. It's not just the skills, but it's the intellect too. Because I think as you continue to move up in weight, you got to be sharper mentally. Because now the game, even though the game is more mental than it is physical already, it becomes even more mental once you start fighting guys that pack, that got either equal level of talent or they might be overpowered in punching power, size, different things like that. You have to be able to outthink these fighters and out-strategize these fighters. So, I do believe Boots will be able to have success at 54 and at 60, maybe even 68. I think that's a stretch because even the same way, because you brought up Terrence Crawford. We seen Terrence Crawford be reckless on defense in lower divisions, right? We seen him get clipped by Gamboa. You seen him get clipped by Mean Machine. You seen him have those moments in the lower divisions. But then when he get up there with Canelo, Canelo did land some shots. Terrence Crawford was extremely sharp. You feel what I'm saying? He took the intellect up there with him, and he was very sharp. And then he didn't lose nothing of the other things that made him great, like the offense. You know what I'm saying? The ability to fight inside out. He didn't lose none of those things. I think for Jaron Boots Ennis, I want to see how he do at 54 before I really judge and say what I think he could do at 60 or even a 68. But just based off of size, frame, yes. I think Boots can absolutely fight at 60 just off of size. But my question to y'all now is like, how dominant do you think Boots will be at 54? What are y'all expecting Jaron Ennis to look like at 154? Do y'all think this will be a division where the side, like now, him fighting smaller guys at the lower weights, do you think that catch up with him? Do you think that some of the flaws that were maybe overlooked at the smaller weight class now get more glaring or exposed at 154? Or do you think Boots gets better? He rises to the occasion. His hand speed goes up. His punching power goes up. His intellect goes up. The experience, we got to keep in mind that as he continues to fight, he's getting more experience. So that allows you more experience, gives you more confidence to be able to pull shit out the bag that you've been working on in the gym. Shout out to the brother Alphabet Boxing in the building. What's good? He said it looked like undisputed. Okay. I can see that. Said Boo's gonna be stepping on shit. Okay. Said if his full man strength is unleashed at 54, I think he'll be dominant. I agree with y'all, man. I agree with y'all. I think the obvious things are, the obvious questions are, all right, what is he gonna look like when he get in there versus Virgil Ortiz and Dramel Charlo and Sebastian Fundora and Bakram Murtaliev? You know what I'm saying? I gotta see that Virgil Ortiz fight, bro. I feel like that shit been brewing for too long. Yeah, I know these days we gotta expect the fights that we want to see. We gotta expect them to have a 5 to 7 year build up period. It's unfortunate, but that's just the game we in now. Now with Turkey being in the game, that shit is slowly changing. But even with Turkey being in the game, you can see it's certain fighters that don't want to deal with him. You know what I'm saying? For those reasons, because he gonna make you get in there and fight. He gonna make you go up against some smoke. But I think having somebody like that is gonna help us get these fights quicker. But I think now is the time, bro. Boots go out there and be successful tomorrow night. Who is Virgil Ortiz fighting next? Oh, he fight Erickson Lubin. Okay, so if Ortiz get past Lubin, which y'all know how big of a fan I am of Lubin and Ortiz, but we just got to, if we keeping it 100, we got to say Ortiz is a favorite in that fight. Ortiz get past Lubin. Boots get past Lima. They got to be talking about that next. Shout out to the brother TM in the building. What's good? Said, I honestly believe Boots gets better, and this is the best way for him. I think this might be Boots' best way too. I've always said that though. I feel like we're questioning whether or not he's gonna look great at 160. I think he will, but I want to see how he look at this weight. I have zero question about how he gonna look skill wise at 154. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Rondo in the building. What's good? He said, Boo said he was at 70% versus Stanionis because of the weight cut. Ooh, say he gonna run 54. Damn, if he was at 70% versus Stanionis, Lima fucking around and get knocked out the ring tomorrow night. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out to the brother Tone Def in the building. What's good? He said Lima looks stronger than Boots, but it's about confidence. I like that. Lima definitely looks strong, bro. He looks strong. Shout out to my brother Ravens Nation in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate you for pulling up. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button as you slide through as well. Shout out to the brother Captain in the building. What's good? Said Lubin is a dangerous fight. Yes, I think it's dangerous for Ortiz for sure, because at this point everybody's counting Erickson Lubin out. Erickson Lubin, man, his only thing, bro. No fighter is perfect. There are some fighters that's damn near perfect, but no fighter is perfect. Lubin is he's a little faulty on defense, and then he's susceptible to his chin. Right? We done seen him get dropped before multiple times. Seen him get knocked out. But Lubin got all the skill in the world, man. I think he can make that fight with Virgil Ortiz very interesting. Very interesting. Said, to be honest, I don't see him at 154 for too long. I really think 60 is going to be his best. Ooh, okay. Hey, I mean, when you look at guys look at Erislandy Lara frame. Very similar to Boots. And Erislandy Lara having his way at 160. Go look at Carlos Adames. These guys have similar frames to Boots. And I like the fact that Boots got that 74-inch reach. I think that's going to help him out a lot. Because as we just saw, Terrence Crawford carried that up to 68. Now, everybody not Terrence Crawford, but I think Jaron Ennis, I just gotta see him fight. It's a few guys I gotta see him fight at 54. For me to really project how I think he gonna be at 60, it's some select guys that I gotta see him fight at 54. Virgil Ortiz, we got to get that out the way. We got to get that out the way, bro. We got to get the Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz fight out the way. I got to see it, dog. Because if he can get past that level of pressure and activity, I haven't seen Boots get tired. I haven't seen Boots gas out. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him gas out. I haven't seen him face pressure that he couldn't deal with. I saw guys get to him and land shots in the second fight with Karen. Karen put some pressure on him. Ain't that crazy to say Karen put pressure on Jaron Ennis after that first fight where he had elite, I'm talking about some of the best foot movement you ever see in the sport of boxing. And then in the second fight, he stood his ground more, gave you more of a balanced fight, and even, had some of that awkward pressure, was landing some shots that Jaron Ennis was a little bit too reckless. And, I don't really think Ennis got up for that fight, but I'm not going to make that an excuse. Karen landed some shots on Ennis in that second fight, and a lot of that was due to some of the awkward pressure. You know what I'm saying? But even then, Boots was able to deal with that and overcome. I never seen Boots in a situation yet that he couldn't deal with. And I think all of the questions that I have about how he gonna look in this situation, how does he look when a guy that's his size that is close to the level of talent, if not on the same level. I would rate Boots higher than Virgil Ortiz in terms of pure talent and skill. But I think Ortiz, I'm a huge fan of Ortiz. I really think Ortiz got that shit. You know what I'm saying? I think he really liked that. And I feel like when I see them two fight, that's gonna tell me a lot. When I see Boots in there with Sebastian Fundora, that's gonna tell me a lot. When I see him in there with Bachram, that's gonna tell me a lot. It's 2 or 3 guys I gotta see him fight at 54. I gotta see him fight at 54. Said I think he'll get better. He did have issues adjusting to a guy with decent footwork like Karen, but I think he can tighten up in that department. Facts. And the good thing, Captain, I'm glad you brought that up. The good thing, Captain, is I don't really think he gonna run into nobody. Oh, Madrimov. That's one of them. Israel Madrimov is one of them. Even though he got beat up on the second half of the fight by Virgil Ortiz, in the first half of the fight, Madrimov looked like he would damn near fuck around try to stop Virgil Ortiz on some frustration shit. Had his nose busted. He was having him frustrated, but he slowed down. And that pressure on the second half of the fight, it started to get to him, right? But that's one of them fights. Stylistically, that's a fight that will let me know if Boots have solved the footwork issue. Him going against a guy that has some awkward and very fleet of foot type of boxing style. And his is Madrimov is a little bit different from Karen because his is more in and out, mid-range. Karen was doing a lot of movement just to move, to evade and stay away. Madrimov's movement is to get you to make a mistake so he can pounce on you. So it's a little bit different. And I think Madrimov's footwork is way more effective than a guy like Karen, which is why I want to see that fight, because that's going to let me know not only did you learn from the Karen fight, but you took it to another level. Said, I don't see the appeal for Virgil Ortiz. I think Boots beats him worse than Stanionis. Damn. Hey, Jay Harris to real. And I know shit, we've been watching this shit for a long time. So I know you know what you're talking about. But the appeal that I see with Virgil Ortiz, it's the explosiveness, right? It's the combination of hand speed and power. He's not the fastest and he's not the hardest puncher, but it's like a perfect combination of explosiveness. The jab, it's like everything is explosive. The jabs are explosive. The straight rights are explosive. You know what I'm saying? The body shots are explosive. from mid-range, on the inside, everything is explosive. And I haven't seen Virgil Ortiz gas out. So I know he gonna be there all night. So I know at the very least, you get in the ring with Virgil Ortiz, either you're gonna have to stop him or you're gonna have to outbox him on some next level skillful shit. And I think Boots can do either one of those things. But I also know that in the midst of him attempting to do either one of those things, he gonna have some hell to deal with. Because if you get in there and you be reckless with a Virgil Ortiz, he gonna hurt you. He gonna make you pay. He gonna make you pay. But to your point, Jay Harris, I do stylistically, I do like Boots. I would favor Boots stylistically in that fight, because if you got a guy that's coming forward to you and you got a great counterpuncher like Boots, who can be first and can counter, which is very important, and he can do it from both stances, I like Boots in that fight. But I think it's gonna be a test. I really do think it's gonna be a test. I can't see anybody beating Virgil Ortiz easily. I just can't see it. Says Madrimov has had tough losses back-to-back. Facts. So Madrimov definitely gonna have to get back in the win column, right? We want to see Madrimov get back in the win column before he even, before we think about him getting in there with guys like Jaron Ennis. Said, and he's taller and more muscular than Bud. Boost 5'10". They building Boost and Virgil into a super fight. More money. Yeah, I can see that. What I don't want to happen, though, I don't want to see, because Ortiz has already been at 54 for a little bit. And Boost is just getting up there. And Ortiz done been in wars at 54. What I don't want to happen is this shit to continue on down the line, and then now we don't get to fight until they both at middleweight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if that happened, shit, we can't do nothing about it as boxing fans. All we can do is just watch the shit that they make available to us. But I hope that fight happens sooner than later. Shout out to the brother Everything by John in the building. What's good? He said, I think Boots should fight straight champions after this one. Then go, you know what? I'm not mad at that. Get your feet wet with this Lima fight and then straight champions. I'm not mad at that at all. Unless, because, so who are the champions right now? We got Sebastian Fundora with 2 belts. We got Bakram with a belt, right? And then there's, who has the other title? Somebody tell me all of the champions at 54 right now. Said I think Boost is one of the best fighters in the sport. After this fight, he has to step it up. Facts. That's a fact. Somebody tell me all the champions at 54 right now. Xander's eyes got a belt? I wouldn't mind seeing that either. Zayas ain't got no belt yet, do he? So I know Bakram and I know Fundora. Okay, so Zayas got the WBO. Okay, that makes sense. Top rank, ESPN, that makes sense. Okay, so shit. Yes, I would love to see Boost Ennis after this fight go and fight straight champions. Facts. I would love to see that. Because what that's gonna do is once he does go fight those guys, or once he gets a belt, then that brings other guys, that brings other competition and people calling him out, right? Because I still, even though Jermell not a champion, who else? Lubin. I think I would love to see that fight. You know what I'm saying? Jermell, Lubin. If, whoever lose out of this, I just heard that the Keith Thurman and Sebastian Fundora fight got pushed back too, because Sebastian Fundora hurt his hand. So, shit, this opportunity for Boots to steal the show. Take over the month of October at the 154-pound division. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see, and Virgil don't got no belt right now. So, Jay Harris, I see what you saying, but shit, if he can get Virgil next and Virgil not a champion, you got to go take that. You got to go get that. Shout out to my brother Vigilante Cato in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate you for pulling up, man. Salute to you, my boy. Appreciate you for pulling up, man. Said I wouldn't want to see Mel versus Boots until Mel gets 1 or 2 comeback fights. Facts. Yes. Yes. I got to see if he still got that mindset after the Canelo fight. The only reason why I'm even holding out any level of faith that Jermell Charlo is still who I always believed him to be is because of what the shit that he did, even though I felt like it was some bullshit. If we just being 100. Now, I feel like I'm qualified to call Jermell Charlo out on this bullshit because he was my favorite fighter. I feel like I'm qualified to call him out on this bullshit. The way he went up there and he just folded in a ring with Canelo, gave all that respect, you know what I'm saying? Folded. Right? And then I took up for him just a little bit when Terrence Crawford was walking out the arena disappointed because he was like, when they interviewed Terrence Crawford, they like, yeah, man, you know, he gave him way too much respect. And when I'm listening to Terrence Crawford say that shit, I'm like, well, bro, you don't know what it feel like to be up there taking them shots from a 168-pounder. You don't know. Soon as you get hit with one of them bitches, you might be like, hold on, let me just box too. Let me just get out the way too. But that ain't what Terrence Crawford did. He went in there and he let his nuts hang. And that made me look at Jermell Charlo even more with a side eye like, hold on, bruh. Because y'all remember that same shot that Canelo dropped Jermell Charlo with, that overhand right that landed right on the forehead right here that made Jermell say, hey, hold on. Hey, man, that boy Mel said, hold on, brother. He stood up for a couple more seconds. And then he was like, hold on, step back real quick. Let me, hold on. Let me gather myself a little bit real quick. That same punch that Jermell Charlo got hit with, Bud got hit with the same punch and ate that motherfucker. Bud got hit with the exact same punch, flush on the forehead, ate that bitch. Canelo real good at throwing that sneaky ass. When he ain't landing the shit that he want and he trying to get you while you moving and shit, cause he ain't been able to set you up and hit you with the shit he want, he'll throw one of them short looping, boom. You know what I'm saying? Them overhand rights, and it's real awkward. It's like the old Triple G punch. You know, Triple G used to throw those too. And he'll land it, boom. He hit Bud with the same shit. Bud ate that motherfucker. So, I say that to say this, the only reason I'm holding out any level of faith that Jermell Charlo is what I thought he was is because he went up and did that, and that was at 68. And I know most of it is a mental thing, because I feel like if Mel had the confidence in himself like Bud did, it would have been a way different performance, bruh. It would have been a way different performance. But he didn't have it mentally. He didn't really believe, bruh. He had fear in his heart, bruh. Just keeping it real, bruh. He had a little fear in his heart, bruh. I know y'all like to say, man, these is fighters. No fighter is scared, bruh. Sometimes these dudes be a little scared, bruh. Sometimes they be a little scared. They be a little worried about something coming back, but they be worried, bro. They human, dog. Some of them be a little scared, bro. Mel was a little scared because I seen it in the build-up. I ain't want to call this shit out, you know, but I seen it, bro. He was a little scared, bro. He was giving them way too much respect, bro. Being too friendly, dog. Being way too friendly. And it was weird for me to watch that shit because before he got the fight, you know, he on live talking about, Canelo, I whoop that bitch. You know what I'm saying? He talking crazy like that. I do this, I do that. I do that to him. But then when the fight get made, y'all doing press conferencing, and he being extra friendly, bruh. But the only reason I'm not just gonna throw Jermell Charlo all the way away is because now let me see what you gonna do in your division. Let's see if you come back down to 54. Let's see if you steal that at 54. I gotta give him that. I gotta give him that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he come back down to 54 acting funny, I gotta throw you away, bro. You know, he's still undisputed. You can't take that away from him. Still undisputed. Still a hell of an exciting fighter to watch when he let his hands go. You know, very explosive. Jermell Charlo can be very explosive. Very explosive. Them left hooks, the uppercuts, he got a mean ass right hand. Jermell Charlo can be very explosive. I'm still blown away from his performance in the rematch with Brian Castano for Undisputed. Bro, Jermell Charlo, he really liked that. That's what really fucked me up, bro. Because mentally he wasn't there and he ain't had a heart, bro. And it's crazy because one of the biggest things that made me admire him as a fighter, it was his heart. Said Mel should have had an easier time with Canelo than Castano. Facts, because stylistically, Castano was like a pit bull putting hella pressure on you. And he was crafty. I'm like, bruh, Canelo, he mid-range with you. He letting you get that shit off. But it's a little different. Like, remember I said, bro, like, a lot of these dudes get in the ring with Canelo, bro, before they even, that's that Mike Tyson effect. You know what I'm saying? Like the fighters that you saw beat up Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, he wasn't scared of him. These dudes be scared before they even get in the ring, bro. If you fight a guy that normally change the demeanor and the disposition of their opponents just off of the mystique and the reputation and the fear that comes from that. You fight a guy like that, but you're not scared. You're not afraid. You're not giving him the same veneration that everybody else giving him. Now is mano y mano. Now we have to actually see who's the more skilled fighter because that fear shit out the window. I'm not scared of you. Now let's see who really prepared the best. Let's see who had the best count. Let's see who in the best condition. Let's see who really skill for skill, a better fighter. That's what Bud did. He took all that bullshit off the table, and now we just gonna see who the better fighter. Mel couldn't do that because he was a little scared, bro. He was a little scared. Shout out to the brother, and what they said, H-ish. He said, ain't no real smoke for Boost at 54. I only say that because once Boost wipe out the division, Cat's gonna say that all the fighters there really wasn't nobody. Same thing concerning standing owners. I think that's a fair point. That's a fair point because y'all see how everybody heavily criticizing Boost right now for fighting Lemus. Bro, this shit crazy. And it's not no surprise. We done seen this shit before. When it's a guy that they don't like, you know what I'm saying? It's a guy they don't like. Typically, they gonna look similar to how a Jaron Boost Ennis look, right? They gonna find a reason to try to hate on them or try to discredit them, right? We see that shit all the time. And so, but it's wild that this man having his first fight at 54 and he fighting a guy who fought 5 out of his last 6 fights as undefeated fighters in Lima. Dude, 14-1, 10 KOs, so you know he got some power. And again, he's not a stranger to fighting undefeated guys. So Lima, he in his comfort zone right now. He been here before. So everybody criticizing Boots though for taking this fight. It's his first fight in the division. I think this is a good first fight in the division. You don't have to jump up and fight the #1 fighter in the division every time. We just so used to that as fans because we see Floyd do it. We see Bud do it. You know what I'm saying? We seen Devin Haney do it. We seen Lomachenko. We see people do this shit. They fight up and fight. They move up and immediately fight a champion. Bruh, you don't, sometimes you can slowly acclimate yourself in a division. You don't have to go up there and fight the champion off the bat. And that's not to say that Jaron Ennis wasn't trying to get these guys in the ring. I'm pretty sure if he had that opportunity, he would have took those fights. But this is what's available to him. And another thing I like about Boots is that he's not sitting on the sidelines. He's staying active. That's what you need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, brother, I think if he go out there and dominate all these dudes that they saying he's ducking right now, all these dudes that they said he should have fought in his first fight at 54, all they gonna do in hindsight is say, man, these dude wasn't nothing. You know what I'm saying? 54 was weak at the time, bro. Boots, he go up there and he dominate, beat everybody, be undisputed. They gonna say 54 was weak at the time. They gonna say the division was weak. That's what they gonna say. That's what they gonna say. So for Boots, if I'm him, bro, I'm not worried about what nobody talking about. Fuck all that, bro. Look, I'm gonna go out there. They fighting in Philly at the Wells Fargo Arena, I believe. Go in there, do your thug thizzle. You know what I'm saying? Put hands, feet, and elbows on this man. Put on a great performance. Make a statement. And so that way, the guys that people perceive as threats, they're knocking at Jaron Boots in his door like, I want a piece of that. Yeah, let me test myself against Boots. Let me help usher him into the division. But see, you might have the adverse effect. You might have guys if Boots go out there tomorrow night and put on a dominant performance, you might have some guys looking the other way. And then it's going to be the same. It's going to be 147 all over again. Motherfuckers struggling to get fights. And as a result of it, Jaron Boots Ennis gets criticized because he ain't fighting nobody. So, shit, catch 22. If I'm Boots, man, look, after this fight, he's successful tomorrow. The best opportunities, I'm taking. If it's a champion, great. If I can get the winner out of Fundora and Thurman, awesome. We don't even know when that fight. I heard it got pushed back, but I don't know the new date. I just heard that Sebastian Fundora got an injury. So who knows what's going to happen there. The only reason I bring that fight up is because 2 of the belts are being held hostage in that fight. But you got Bachram, right? You got Xander Zayas. I highly doubt that Bob Arum is going to put Xander Zayas in the ring with Boots Ennis. Do y'all think that Bob Arum going to put Zayas in there with Boots? We know Top Rank is in cahoots with the WBO. Y'all think they going to facilitate that fight to allow Boots to get action at that WBO? Y'all think they gonna let Boots get action at the WBO that Zayas got? I don't think so. Politics. So if I'm Boots, whatever the best opportunity that come my way, if I know they want to build a Virgil fight, I know they want to build that fight. But bruh, like I said, I don't want this shit to have to leak over to 160, bruh, because ain't no telling how long Ortiz gonna be at 54. And like a couple of the brothers just said, it's still up in the air how long Boots gonna be at 154. Sometimes these guys gonna have 1 or 2 fights in the division and they dip off. Said Xander is next. I hope so. I hope so. I don't know, bruh. I don't believe Bob Arum is gonna put that man in there, because I don't think Xander Zayas had enough time with that belt yet from a business perspective. I don't think in Bob Arum's eyes that Xander Zayas has had enough title defenses for him to be able to recoup his money. So I think he gonna try to milk that as long as he can. So Eddie said Ortiz should be next if he beats Lubin. Okay, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. That is the fight that I believe should be happening next. Because if whoever win that fight, remember, look at the Ring Magazine rankings right now. The number 1 ranked fighter ain't even a champion. The number 1 ranked fighter at 54 right now, not even a champion. Because when Bud moved up, he vacated his belt that he won off of Madrimov. When Madrimov and Ortiz fought, they didn't put no vacant title up for that, did they? And I just checked the Ring ranking. They got Ortiz ranked number 1 at 54 right now. So if I'm Boots, my focus is be on Virgil Ortiz. And I think everything else after that is going to take care of itself. Said, what belt did Boots have at 47? He had the IBF and he had the WBA. He won the IBF off of the vacant. He won a vacant IBF. And then he beat Stanionis for the WBA. And he had the ring. Boots also had the ring. So he was the number 1 fighter at 47. So he had the ring, which is the lineal belt. That's the most important belt. So he had the ring, and he had the IBF and the WBA. So technically, shit, when you have that ring title, and of course, it's really the sanctioning bodies that allow you to jump through and fight this guy, that guy at your first fight in the division. But again, those champions got to be willing to fight you too. Those champions got to be willing to fight you. You can't just move up and say, I want action at the champ because you was a WBC or IBF champion at the lower weight class. You can't just say, hey, I want action at the champ if the champ not willing to fight you. So it's some tricky shit, man. This shit tricky, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This shit tricky. But man, I think Jaron Ennis, I really believe that either this division or 60 could be his best division. I think 68 is still in the air. We could talk about that once he get there. But I'm tired of all of the maneuvering. I think this is the weight class where Boots get all the fights that's going to answer all the questions. You know what I'm saying? Said one of them will probably give him action at 154. Yeah, facts. I agree. I think this is the division where we see all of the questions that we have. I think they get answered at 54 because this is where the fight's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? This is where the fight's going to happen. I think all of the Jaron Boots Ennis questions get answered in this division. And to be honest with y'all, I don't think it's going to take a whole lot of fights. If he chooses to stay here for a while, cool. But we know Bazzi Ennis, Greg Hackett, Jaron, all of them have talked about him moving up to 60 and 64, 60 and 68. But hold on, the brother Rondo just said this division get him on a pound for pound. Facts. This division, his reign at 54. This is where he gets on a pound for pound list. This low key, y'all know how every fighter, every Hall of Fame fighter, they have like the division that made them who they are, right? We seen Roberto Duran, lightweight. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather, lightweight. He did his thing at welterweight, but lightweight Floyd was different. You know what I'm saying? Guys, it's certain divisions where guys who move up. You know what I'm saying? It's certain divisions where that's just their bread and butter. That's where you make your name at. I think this could be that division for Jaron Ennis. He get on a pound for pound list. You get your first notable wins. You become a household name. I think all of those things are viable at 154. Shout out to brother Jay Harris, who real said the Fundora fight is crazy tough. Is a crazy tough matchup. 54 is full of smoke. Facts. I really want to see that, bro. I really want to see that. I really want to see that, dog. I really want to see Boots versus Sebastian Fundora. I just think it's an interesting fight. I want to see how he would approach that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested to see how Keith Thurman gonna approach it. Like I'm still trying to picture Keith Thurman, who at the press conference had to stand on a chair to look this man eye to eye. I want to see how Boots gonna approach something like that. That's the interesting thing, bro. Like, I love to see how fighters approach a matchup, dog. Like, what type of strategy you gonna use? You know what I'm saying? What's your mindset going into the fight? You know what I mean? That's what make these matchups interesting, dog. I want to see an elite guy who's been dominant in previous fights where they ain't never faced a matchup like this one before. How you gonna approach that? What you gonna do differently than your other fights? Shout out to the brother, Mr. Euro Dollars in the building. What's good, said, always watching from the UK, man. Appreciate you for pulling up, dog. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you for pulling up, man. But yeah, man, I think tomorrow, I think we're going to see a dominant performance by Boots. But I also believe that there's some space for it to be some tricky stuff, some awkwardness, some interesting moments. Maybe Boots get hit with a shot we probably, as fans, as longtime Boots fans, probably feel like he shouldn't get hit with. But that's just Lima being a true 54-pounder and being ready for this matchup. You know, I think it might be something where, you know, Boots learned, you know, he learned something in this fight. You know what I mean? Where it kind of set the stage for the remainder of his tenure at 54. I think this is a good first fight at 54. I don't see why a lot of people shitting on this fight, bro. I don't see why a lot of people shitting on this fight. I think more fighters should instead of going directly to the number one guy or the champion, take a awkward fight. You know what I'm saying? Take a fight where it's gonna force you to work on some things. Said Fundora is a problem, and he's starting to use his reach. Hey, facts. Said the Fundora fight gonna look a lot like Villa. Hey, I agree with Liano 510 on that one, Vigilante Kato. Only because, like he just said, I think Fundora, he got his stride right now, man. Fundora, he got a different level of confidence. He looking strong as ever. He a unified champion for the first time. He done beat up Tim Tszyu twice. Oh man, he feeling good right now. And then on top of that, he's starting to realize he got a special weapon and starting to use his reach a little bit more now. So he still got that inside fighting ability and the ability to come forward and throw punches in bunches, throw over 1,000 punches in a fight. But he also started to be more cognizant of the fact that he has an abnormal reach advantage over these guys. And the fact that he can cover so much ground and cut the ring off using that. I think Fundora, out of all of the guys at 54 right now, Fundora is one of the toughest fights. I think the Fundora is probably, he could be the toughest out. He's top 3 toughest out at 54 right now. I think Fundora right now is top 3, one of the hardest fighters to deal with at 54 right now. All things considered. Shout out to my brother, Free Smoke Boxing in the building. What's good? He said, fans just want fighters to fight the cream of the crop every fight. Right, bro. It's not realistic. That's not realistic. Said Lima is strong with a gas tank. Man, I think Lima, I feel like this might be a fight where Boots get a little bit of a surprise. You know what I'm saying? Early in the fight. I think he might get a little bit of a surprise. I think Lima is used to being an underdog in these moments where his opponent is undefeated and expected to win. And you can see that look at the weigh-in. He's strong, he prepared. I think he's going to be in shape. He got power. He's awkward. It's going to be a good, I'm not going to say it's going to be, I'm not saying that Jaron Ennis is going to struggle to the point where we're going to question everything we always knew about Jaron Ennis, or that we thought we knew about Jaron Ennis. But I do think it's going to be some awkward moments in this fight. And some things that he can learn from and get better on. You know what I mean? So when he do fight the Virgil Ortizes of the world, he going to be exactly where he need to be. I think this is a good first fight in a division. Said, Cash forget, even the greats took stay active fights. Chavez 54 fight was against. Said Chavez 54th fight was against a dude who was 0-1. That's crazy. That's insane. That's a whole nother level of activity, stay busy fights. You in your 54th fight and you fight a dude that's 0-1, that's insane. But it makes sense. That's how you get to 70-0. What was Chavez senior record before he fought Pernell Whitaker? What was he like? 80 something 0? He was like 81-0 or some shit like that. Some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting. Yeah, he was like 89-0. Come on, man. Man, bro, who you fighting, bro? 89-0, bro. Who the hell are you fighting, dog? Said a lot of boxers wouldn't even fight Lima in their first fight move. Facts. Facts. A lot of people sleeping on Lima, bro. And I think Boots and them, hey, to keep it 100, and this is one of the things I like about Jaron Ennis, and there's some other fighters like this too, where even if they can't get the guy that is the sexy option or the perceived threat or the fighter that we all want to see you fight, some fighters still try to go with a challenge even if it's the unknown guy, right? A lot of times you will see fighters go with an unknown guy and they gonna go all the way unknown. When I say all the way unknown, I'm talking about no threat, tomato can. He lost the 4 out of the last 6 fights. You know what I'm saying? Ain't never fought no undefeated fighters. Like they gonna go all the way. They gonna go Rod Salka. Some guys, they go Rod Salka. But just because you fighting a relatively unknown guy, you don't have to go Rod Salka. Sometimes you can go Israel Madrimov. Sometimes you can go Usima Lima. Sometimes you can go Alberto Puello. You feel me? That's the difference. That's the difference. But a lot of fans don't take that into account. They just looking at name known and then everybody else. No. But yeah, bruh. 89-0. Come on, man. Who is you fighting, dog? Who is you fighting? Out of all 89 of them guys, I only know about 5 of the dudes that Chavez Sr. fought. At that point in his career, when he was 89-0, and I thought he lost that fight to Sweet Pea, by the way. I had Sweet Pea winning that fight. And that's crazy. Like, out of all them dudes, I only knew about 5 of them dudes he fought. And he went, out of them 89 fights, a lot of them was Rod Salkers. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the fans, bro, they don't be taking it into account, the nuances and the matchmaking. That shit, that's important. Yeah, it said, yeah, definitely Puello nice. He surprised me in the Russell fight. Facts. And I thought Puello beat Matias. That's just me. I watched the whole fight through. I thought Puello beat Matias. That's me. I thought he outboxed Matias. A lot of people felt like the aggression was effective from Matias. I thought Puello won that fight. But that's a guy that was relatively unknown, but very skilled. Very skilled fighter, relatively unknown. You know what I'm saying? The guy that at 75, what's my man name? Just had on that same card. David, what's my man name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. He had a fight with a guy who was unknown, and he went out there and put hands on him. They robbed the dude, David Morrell. Yeah, I forget the dude that he fought. Sometimes you need those fights. You need to fight a guy who you probably not finna really get up for. If you smart, it don't matter who across the ring from you, gonna treat them like they Canelo Alvarez. You gonna treat them like they Bud Crawford. If you smart, you supposed to prepare for everybody like they the Super Bowl every time. But some fighters don't do that, and that's why they be getting caught slipping. But then sometimes the other guys just that good. Shout out to the brother King Breeze in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate you for pulling up, dog. You know what I'm saying? Said you trying to train tomorrow at 11:30. Damn. Man, I might pull up on y'all boys, man. I might pull up on y'all boys. You know I like that time. You know I like them afternoon times, them late morning afternoon times. You know I mess with them times, dog. So that's a good time for me, man. I might have to pull up on y'all boys. Said Boost finna catch a body. Man, I hope so. I can see that, dog. I can see it. He said, salute to you in the chat, fam. I got to get the sparring session in. Hey, man, for real, look. Jay Harris to real, if you in the city. Hey, Jay Harris, how much you weighing right now, bro? How much you weighing right now, dog? Said via combination. What you weighing right now, Jay Harris? I don't know, you might be trying to set me up, dog. Let me see what my boy weighing in at right now. Talking about some sparring session. You see this, Monte? We're gonna have to put you on the scale, man. Say he finna do bro like Villa. Man, that'll be a nice coming out party, bro. First fight at 54, you in there going crazy like he did in the Villa fight. Man, hey, I don't know what performance was better. The Villa, that shit was crazy. He did the slow motion and all type of shit. But the Stanionis, that performance was crazy too, bruh. Boo's got some crazy performances, dog. But I ain't gonna lie, I think the Villa performance probably his overall most complete performance. You know what I'm saying? I gotta say that might be his most complete performance, for sure. For sure. Tell y'all, see, you got the best coaches, you good. Hey man, salute, man. Salute to my brothers, man. Say he say he 185. He said, but I don't know if you know I'm a 2-time state champ and a 2-time. See, look, see what I mean? See, look what I mean, bro. He's trying to set me up, bro. Chill out, bro. Chill, bro. See what I mean? My boy Jay Howard's for real trying to get his shine on off me, bro. Chill, bro. I don't want no smoke, dog. This man talking about here, 2-time state champ, 2-time Golden Gloves champ. Goddamn, bro. I ain't never competed. Why you trying to get your shine? He trying to be in there doing all type of moves. He trying to hit me with the behind the back AB punch. You know what I'm saying? He trying to do the spin. I just seen somebody sent me a reel of a dude. He was boxing him clearly in the ring with somebody he ain't supposed to be in there with. Dude in there boxing, he did a spin move. You know what I'm saying? Doing all type of clown shit. Nah, you not finna have me on camera doing all that, bro. Chill out, man. Hey, chill out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, chill out, bro. Talking about I'm 185, man. Hey, I'm 170 right now, bro. I get in there and move around with you a little bit. He said I can set him up with Alex Holly or Marvelous Jarvis. Hey, come to the gym, Jay Harris. We can do that. You know what I'm saying? Look, I get in there and move around with you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And we got Alex Holly. We got Marvelous Jarvis. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Monte, what Alex walk around at? Alex walk around like what, 175? What Alex walking around at? I'm 170 right now. Said Ben Whitaker. That's who I thought it was at first, but it was another guy. Ben Whitaker be wilding too. He be wilding. But he be wilding. But it wasn't Ben. It was another guy. Said I wasn't calling you out. I was saying peace because I just got to the gym. Oh, okay. Hey, shout out to my brother Jay Harris Terrell. He said he wasn't trying to put me on no poster. Hey man, I appreciate you, dog. Hey, now Jay Harris, the reason I said that, cause look, I be trying to do the same thing, bro. I be trying to get I be having some homeboys talking about they trying to get in the ring and spar. I told my boy Monte, I said, look. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. When it come to sparring, I'm gonna be a Canelo level cherry picker. Real talk. Let me get him right there. I want the motherfucker who ain't never threw no punch ever. Let me work on something. I ain't trying to beat you up. I just want to work on something. But I want to make sure you ain't finna throw nothing at me that I ain't never seen in my life before. You know what I'm saying? So shit, let me pick the dude. Look, I'm gonna be an elite level cherry picker. I want to pick my dude who I'm sparring. Don't put me in there with no Golden Glove. You know what I'm saying? Don't put me in there with no motherfucker who been out there and had 100 amateur fights. Hell no. I want to pick the person that I'm sparring, and before I pick him, I want to see everything he doing. And he can't know I'm watching either. I want to see everything he got going on. I want to see how he throwing his shots. I want to see, can he take a punch? I want to see everything before I be like, you know what? Bet. I'll get in there with you. You know what I'm saying? That's why my boy Free Smoke Boxing, he know. I brought somebody to the gym. I had him picked out perfectly. He talking about, man, I had an injury. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to get down with me that day. You know what I'm saying? Because I was really finna put hands, feet, and elbows and kneecaps on him. But he didn't want to get out there with me. Hey, man, hey, have a great training at the gym, man. Do your thing, bro. Appreciate you for pulling up. But yeah, dog, I brought one of my boys in there. I said, hey, shit, hey, we finna get it in. We finna go crazy. But he got up there. I don't know what he seen. I wasn't doing nothing. I don't know what he seen, but he said he had an injury. He didn't want to spar. So, but yeah, I had the perfect one picked out. So I ain't mad at you, bro. But look, man, I'm finna hey, man, I'm finna get on up out of here, man. Hey, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. If you came in a little late, go ahead and replay. You know what I'm saying? This is our first Merlot Fridays in years. We done, you know what I'm saying? But look, I told y'all we slowly but surely bringing, we gonna drop more videos. We gonna drop more lives. We gonna drop more shorts. You know what I'm saying? So just stay rocking. You feel me? We gonna continue with the content. I'm trying to slowly but surely, you know, get back active and more consistent with just dropping the content, man. I feel like boxing is it's in a decent place right now. The real is on top. You know what I'm saying? A lot of bullshit in the sport been going on for the last couple of years, bro. That shit, it'll turn you off the sport. I know I'm not the only one, bro. That shit'll turn you off the sport. You got people like promoting and praising the wrong shit, like drug cheats getting love now. Since when drug cheats started getting love in boxing? Drug cheats getting love, people ducking real smoke getting love. You know what I'm saying? It's like so much politics, so much bullshit going on, bro. It turn you off the sport, bro. You feel what I'm saying? It turn you off the sport. So you see guys like Terrence Crawford at the top of the sport right now. Them type of guys, man, that's what keep me, you know, doing this shit, man. So I appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. I'ma holler at y'all, man. Contender regime, boxing, man. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy the fight tomorrow. I'ma holler at y'all, man.